Nehemiah 12 ended with joy, and Nehemiah 13 showed what happens after the music fades. This chapter proves a sobering truth. Reform must be maintained, or compromise returns quickly. The book of Moses is read publicly again. They discover that Ammonites and Moabites are excluded from the assembly because they opposed Israel and hired Balaam. Okay? When the people hear this, they separate themselves from those practices. God's words, God's word keeps revealing blind spots even after revival. Then Nehemiah returns from Persia and discovers a shocking abuse. The priest Eliashib has given a large room in the temple to Tobiah, an enemy of the work. Okay, to Tobiah, an enemy of the work. This room, it was meant for offerings, tithes, and temple supplies. Nehemiah reacts decisively, throws Tobiah's furniture out, purifies the rooms, and restores the sacred items. Compromise often enters through relationships, not rebellion. Then Nehemiah finds that Levites are not receiving support. The temple service is abandoned, and people have returned to their fields. He confronts the officials. Why is the house of God neglected? He restores proper tithes, faithful administrators, regular worship. Worship collapses when provision is ignored. Then the Sabbath is profaned again. Nehemiah witnesses people working, trading, buying, selling on the Sabbath. Even foreign merchants camp outside Jerusalem gates. Nehemiah responds firmly, rebukes nobles, closes city gates before Sabbath, threatens merchants, stations Levites as guards. Rest and holiness must be protected intentionally, right? So then Nehemiah discovers that Jews have married foreign women again. Children cannot speak Hebrew. Covenant identity is eroding. He confronts them firstly and reminds them of Solomon. Was it not because of marriage like this that Solomon sinned? He even rebukes a priestly family connected to Sanballat. Cultural compromise always shows up first in the generation, right? Then the final reforms in Nehemiah's prayer, because Nehemiah summarizes his actions, purifying the people, restoring duties, and organizing worship support. Then the book ends quietly with Nehemiah's repeated prayer, remember me, my God, for good. Not, look what I built, see what I achieved, but remember me. Faithfulness seeks God's approval, not applause. So let's check the key lessons from this chapter. The first one is, revival does not maintain self. Ongoing leadership and correction are necessary. Second lesson, compromise enters subtly. Through covenant, through convenience and relationships. Third lesson, neglect of worship begins with neglect of support. Economics reveal spiritual priorities. Fourth lesson, holiness must be guarded, especially time set apart for God. Fifth lesson, compromise affects the next generation first. Language loss equals identity loss. Sixth lesson, God remembers faithful obedience, even when reform is exhausting. So Nehemiah ends not with triumph, but with vigilance. After returning from Persia, Nehemiah confronts renewed compromise in the temple, worship support, Sabbath observance, and marriage. He acts decisively to restore holiness and order, reminding the people of past failures and God's commands. The book closes with humble prayer, showing that leadership in God's work requires perseverance long after the walls are built. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and I see you in the next one.